everybody's like, oh my God, you got to see the best comeback in Texas A&M history and arguably college football history. How do you feel? And my response was, I feel like the call on 3rd and goal when we were up 31-30 was so abysmal. It left me wondering how in the world we won that game after we had won the game. That's what I thought. I said, well, we could have easily been up 4 points with having to stop South Carolina with one timeout in less than 2 minutes from scoring a touchdown. Instead, we were letting South Carolina get less than 2 minutes with one timeout to only score a field goal to win. And their field goal kicker had made some field goals that day. But leaving the decision of like a throw or an option up to the running back, who is never in that scenario, was the most abysmal play call of that day. And I know Colin Klein is kicking himself, unless that just wasn't designed and the running back did that out of impulse. Then he's definitely losing his mind going. I mean, I think Elko dropped like 6 F-bombs after he saw that, because he knew this could have easily costed them the greatest comeback in college football history. All you had to do was run it up the A-gap. And then, if that didn't work, either go for it again, make South Carolina burn a timeout, or kick a field goal and go at 4. So, anywho, miraculous. There's no other words. I don't know what you guys want me to say. I mean, do you want me to say like, oh, A&M's the best team in the country? They didn't show it in the first half. You look in the second half. Yeah, they showed it. Obviously, they're like, what do you have Texas A&M over Indiana? Well, as I mentioned before, South Carolina has played 7 ranked SEC teams this year. They're not a bad rostered football team. You look at those boys up close, those are some big-ass boys. They played great. They played hard. They've played hard against everybody. And Shane Beamer's a good coach. He's a culture guy. And they got up ahead. This is what happens when you play like crap. When you have turnovers, like 6 or 7 turnovers in the or 4 or 5 turnovers in the first half and missed field goals, yeah, you're going to get down a couple possessions against the SEC unless they have Jackson Arnold. Then you're going to be winning by 7. So yeah, I put them in front of Indiana because I saw the greatest comeback in college football history. And so whether or not you say, oh, they were down at halftime, game's not finished. It don't matter. Do it. A&M won, period. So this whole like, oh, but how can you be down that much? I told you how. You can turn over the football. You can look like crap. You know who else did that? Michigan. And they won versus a crappy team, Northwestern. Like, I don't know. You guys are like, oh, Bryce Underwood, 8 wins, Michigan. I was just hyping him up earlier. Did the same thing for Texas A&M. I keep it real around here. What's up? Indiana, I didn't slide them back after nearly losing to Penn State on the road, 3-6 football team who fired their head coach. Like, Indiana had to accumulate 1 football drive to win that football game. They did it. Great. They win. I'm not going to knock them for it. I was planning on moving Texas A&M in front of Indiana for a while because, well, like Indiana, Texas A&M is an undefeated SEC football team. And you're like, oh, A&M hasn't played anybody. Get out of here with that. Get out of here. It's like, oh, they played so many coaches that have fired their head. Brian Kelly was the head coach of LSU when they played. It's not A&M's fault that Missouri had a quarterback go down with an injury a week or so prior. They played a rivalry game at Arkansas. Arkansas scores 30 points a game. They did that against A&M, but A&M won the football game. And they played Notre Dame at the beginning of the year. They won that football game at Notre Dame. So I really don't want to hear it, and then they just beat South Carolina. They're going to play Texas at the end of the year. So all this notion that Texas A&M hasn't played anybody, and if anything, they have made in certain cases, certain head coaches get fired. But I think we just need to understand that they have won those games. They have not dropped any of them like some other teams, and there's nothing to criticize. Like, why can't we just look at the team and go, wow, this team hasn't lost a game with an SEC schedule, which is 8 conference games, going to be 9 next year, with one of the out of conference games being a currently top 10 ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Like, I just understand the hostility. We can just appreciate the fact that somebody's a good football team. And if they lose in the first round of the playoffs or don't get a first round bye or lose to Texas in the year, at the end of the day, I don't think anybody's fraudulent here. I really don't, because it's the playoffs. You're going to play the best team who won their first game of the week in the playoffs and go play Texas A&M after a bye most likely at a neutral site, not even at home, at a neutral site. So let's hold our horses on that.